Hey, welcome to another day of the life of TLE. I'm going to try to make this short because I want to get out and do some exercise. Today it's a nice day out and it's kind of early. I've done some cleaning and then I'm going to get dressed and get out of here shortly. But I believe my last video I said that I was going to start with talking about getting things off your chest and kind of I believe I said something like guarding your heart and your ears and just being careful about what people say to you. And so I'll start there. When I found out about my diagnosis, my first thought was, who do I tell? Who do I talk to? I didn't know exactly who to tell right away. And that may sound strange, but just kind of the way that I'm wired. So I decided to text my spiritual director, a woman that I had been talking to for about a year prior to this, and maybe a little short of a year. And she's a very nice woman, and that's the first person who came to mind. So I texted her and said, hey, I hate to drop this on you, but this is what's going on. And she was really empathetic and very very sweet about her response, and just kind of made herself available if I needed her, which I thought was phenomenal because we didn't necessarily have a personal relationship other than, that direction. And so I told her, and things just kind of progressed. But as time went on and people saw, my hair falling out or me losing weight or whatever it was that was going on with me, and even just during normal conversation about what was going on, I had some people say some really, really crazy stuff like, oh yeah, what type of cancer is it again? Oh yes, my uncle died of that. Oh yeah, I had a husband who actually had to get the same type of transplant, and he didn't make it, right away. It just really affected him, and or do you think you're gonna die, or just very insensitive things. And I know that they didn't mean any harm. I would like to think that they didn't mean any harm, or it wasn't their intention to be insensitive. But when you're in the midst of a battle, or when you're unsure, uncertain about what your future holds as it relates to an illness, you just don't really want to hear that type of stuff. And I know there's the reality of life and death when you're talking about an illness. Nevertheless, you still want to try to keep your mind clear and away from a lot of negativity. And sometimes people, out of curiosity, they have a lot of questions and or comments. And so once I started getting the influx of conversation and or comments that I just felt like they were not conducive to me, I decided to guard my ears and my heart and kind of brace myself and be careful about who I was talking to and what I was saying what to, because I just didn't want to open myself up to that type of conversation. I had people calling me saying, God told them to come and pray for me. I mean, pretty much just blowing my phone up and texting me. And when I would see them in public, they were, confronting me like, I need to come and pray for you. And I'm like, that's not what I'm feeling right now, and people saying that God told them that I had cancer, all types of things. And you just, you run into a lot of stuff with people. It's really unbelievable. And I'm, it's a little humorous now, but at the time it was very stressful. So I had an influx of that. And then the other thing that was just most annoying was like all these people had all these remedies for how to get rid of cancer. Like, eat this and take this, and take these pills, and I have this tea, and I have this juice, and all this will rid you of cancer. And I'm not saying yeah or nay because I haven't tried either of the things that have been suggested to me, but I'm thinking just off the top of my head, like, if there's some tea that can cure cancer, I think we would probably, or I would have heard about it, or someone would have heard about it, other than the 12 people that that knows about it. But that was another thing. I think so it was take these remedies, and then there was a lot of comments on a spiritual note, or the God factor part of this all, because I grew up in a church, very religious family. So a lot of people are like, well, why did you, allow them to operate on you? Why are you taking chemotherapy? You just need to pray about this. And they were really coming down on me about, why did you allow the doctors to tell you you had cancer? And why did you believe them? And why didn't you pray about it? You know better than that. And so that was the other thing that I had to kind of guard myself from, like the people that wanted to quote scriptures and tell me that I was wrong for going to the doctor and allowing them to treat me for lymphoma. So I said all that to say that this may not be everyone's issue, or that some people may or may not run into these types of things, but in the event that you do run into these types of conversations, it's okay to excuse yourself. It's okay to not answer the phone. It's okay to not respond. It's okay to also, speak your mind. And that's something that at times I failed to do. And unfortunately, I didn't exercise my right to use my voice and say, this is offensive, or this is hurtful, or just not right now. I can't handle that. Sometimes just those simple words, not right now, I can't handle that, is enough. You don't always have to go into an explanation or explain everything. There's so many other things to concern yourself with, and that are awaiting you when you're in treatment and going through or experiencing, some type of trauma or major illness or interruption to your life, period. And I think I mentioned a phone call that I had the other day, and in the phone call, the woman was just, asking me a lot of questions that I felt like, well, I knew right away that I didn't owe her an explanation, but because I was raised to honor people that are older than me, and there are some other things that goes along with that, because she's a person who people kind of look up to, and so she was, to me, I felt like she was very confrontational and very judgmental in her approach to me, spirituality, my healing, my body, and God. And I just, that experience, that's the first experience I've had this year actually with someone, because I had kind of distanced myself from quite a few people, just to avoid stuff like that. And I felt compelled to address it, because one of the things that I was told, someone was like, well, when you get cancer, you can't hold anything in. You have to say what you mean, say what you need to say, get everything off your chest. And, I've heard, and I don't know how true this is because I haven't done any research or studied on it, but a lot of the reasons why people may end up with some type of cancers or illnesses at large is because there's a lot of undealt with emotions or things and feelings and whatever the case may be that you kept in. And so if you have all this stuff that's negative in, then there's a negative reaction. Your body will respond negatively to what you take in. Don't know how true that is, But in the event that it is true, I decided to adopt the whole idea of saying what's on my mind and getting stuff off my chest. And as a result of that, I decided to address the woman and tell her how I felt, and just kind of, what that meant to me, and how I was in a place in my life that I'm still in a very sensitive place in my life. I'm still awaiting a transplant. I still don't know what's exactly going on and why the doctors are continuously saying that we're going to schedule a date but not schedule a date. And so not only is my life on hold, my lungs are, according to the pulmonologist, they're better, but the doctors are still saying they want me to wait until my lungs get better. So I don't know exactly what that means. Originally, it was I had pneumonia, wait till it clear up, and then we'll schedule the transplant. That happened twice. It happened last year in November. Thought I was going to get the transplant in January. In January, I was told that the pneumonia came back. So in January, I was put back, and I think I mentioned this previously, I was put back on the high dosage of steroids, and it's April, and the pulmonologist is saying that it's gone again, and I'm being tapered down on a steroid. So I don't know, because the doctors have not committed or given me an idea of when to anticipate a stem cell transplant. So there's a lot going on, because not only that, but just as I mentioned before, I had taken off work, and so my leave was only supposed to be 6 months, and I've been off since July, and so now I have my employer saying what's going on, and are you coming back, and things of that nature. And not only that, financially it's a strain, so that's an issue. And then my next concern is, what can I do in the meantime to generate an income? And so I've been looking for things to do at home, because I do need flexibility, and because at times my appointments are pretty frequently, and I would need a job that is very flexible. And also because of the neuropathy, at times I can't sit or stand and do a lot of physical things for long periods of time. So I do have some complications, and so all these things are things that are going on with me right now. So just any negativity or anything that doesn't encourage or brings light or life to my circumstances is not really important to me right now. And so said all that to say, because I wasn't even meaning to get into all that, you can't control other people, but you can control what you allow in your four walls. You can control what you allow to penetrate your brain, your person, and that's it. And if someone does something that does not honor you, it's okay to stay away from that person, or not allow that person to continue to dishonor you. And it's okay to say how you feel about that person dishonoring you. And a lot of times, in my experience, people instantly get upset or offended, and that's okay too. Because again, if it's not about your well-being, it's not worth it. And if someone doesn't honor the fact that you are experiencing something traumatic, or you're going through a crisis, and it's not worth it. They may come around in time, they may not. They may stay away and be offended forever. But what's most important is you, or the individual that is going through the different changes. What's most important is that you're able to obtain peace and inner healing, and have people around you that promote that. And I'm going to end this now, because I didn't want to go so long. I hope that someone out there can relate and or may have just had an aha moment from this conversation. Okay, bye.